Closer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so these dianthus are my filler, and I could not find any greens to save my life, so I used my Nandina for spiller. It's not ideal though, and I'll tell you why. There are red tinges on the edges of the leaves that lean towards orange, and orange and purple don't work. So I also used laurel leaves from my garden, and I had to cut them down at the bottom here because they were too big, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about why colors work and why colors don't work. Closer. The color wheel is something that is scientific. You know, different colors are different because of the way they interact with the light, the wavelengths. So if you look at all the colors from light to dark, if it has white in it, it's called a tint. If it has black in it, it's called a shade. So this is the grayscale, and yellow is a naturally pale color. Orange is a little bit darker. Red is considerably darker. Blue is darker still. Green is dark, and purple is very dark in their natural state. So the most intense version of each color is referred to as high chroma. Chroma means intensity of a color. So you have to think of all these things. You don't want your thriller to be a very low chroma, you know, where it's a dull version of that color. And so there are many things to take into account when you're trying to make a harmonious color scheme. Okay, so next chart. Everybody knows Roy G. Biv, right? Okay, so what are the primary colors?
Sorry, folks.
Red, yellow, and blue.
I'm going to have to back up.
Yeah. And what are the secondary colors? Orange, green, and purple. And then what about all these other colors like yellow, orange, yellow, green, blue, green? Those are called tertiary colors. Anything that's not primary or secondary is called tertiary. Okay, so I'm going to teach you about a few different color schemes that you could use to your advantage, whether you're doing flowers, putting your outfits together, don't look at what I have on today, or your house decor, okay? So let's say you have orange and red flowers. What would go best with them? Well, if you wanted to do an analogous color scheme, you would go with red-orange, because red-orange has something in common with all of these, okay? There's orange, red, orange, and red. So this one is called the middle mix. This is an analogous, which is right here, color scheme. These colors always work, okay? So ditto, you could go down the line and say red, violet, which is like a fuchsia, like my dianthus, purple, and blue violet. Oops, stickies are coming off. Maybe they're backwards. So these three colors are analogous on the color wheel. So remember, your color wheel has to have the primaries, secondaries, and tertiaries in order to be a real color wheel. And everybody who got one of those handbooks for flower shows should have gotten a color wheel inside in the front pocket. Okay, so now what's a monochromatic color scheme? That would be like all different shades of orange. So that would be like the only color in there. Light orange, peach, dark orange, rust. You know, rust is like a low chroma version. See this? Turn it over here. So like this is orange, but this would be the low chroma. So this would be like a rust or a warm brown. So that would go too. So that would be a good fall arrangement. Okay, so what's a split dyad? Well, that one is very interesting, I think. So if you take yellow green, which is always a good color to use for your greens, I'd say, and easier to find than most stuff. If you go straight across from yellow green, you get to red violet. Well, that's the complement. Don't use that, use the guys next to it. So this would be a straight complement. These two are the split complements. So you can use purple and red, but this is why purple and orange don't go together, because look, orange is over here. It's not working with that. So these two work with yellow-green. If you're going with yellow, what's the split complement? Blue-violet and red-violet. So I hope that explains it a little bit, but those are three of our main color schemes. Don't use the three primary colors because they don't have anything in common.
Where are you?
Ria's following me in circle. Okay, so one more chart. Go down.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I want to show you something. Whatever color you put next to another color affects it in its appearance. So these four grays are exactly the same gray paint, but they look different, right? This one looks like a darker gray than this one, but it's all because it's contrasted with the black here and the pale gray here. This gray looks a little bit yellowish because purple is the complement of yellow. This gray looks greenish because the complement of red is green. So everything plays off of everything else. Okay, thanks. Okay, so now we're going to make our arrangements. So I made one to turn off your sound. And I'm going to use my handy dandy Rubbermaid turntable. See this? So this arrangement, ooh, I think you turned it up. Oh, so there's one more thing I want to tell you. So why is it called the man with the belly button? Okay, so this is the belly button on the top. It's an outie. And these four flowers are evenly spaced, like the tips of my hands. Can you hold it up?
Yes.
Oops. Down. Okay, so if I stand like Leonardo's man, you may have seen that drawing. Okay, the belly button's in the center. The hands and the feet are the outer spokes. It would be better if I could do the splits, but this is basically it. Show my feet. So that's basically it. The hands, the feet, and the belly button. But the man's lying down. So that's the part you have to remember. He's not standing up. He's lying down on the floor, but no, I'm not going to lie down on the floor. Okay, so let's all become florists for the day. This goes away. And now we're going to start from scratch. So I have a 5-inch white bowl. It's not white on purpose. It just happens to be white. I put a pin in it so that it weighs it down a little bit, okay? Okay, so before the class, I soaked Oasis. I can still hear it. And because it's a bowl that's wider than the Oasis block, this is 2 pieces, so I have to pin it together at the bottom for extra security. So these are floral pins. You may have made a wreath in the past. So this is how I unite 2 different pieces of Oasis, okay? Ooh, my hands are drippy. Next, I'm going to take some transparent tape that's very narrow, and I'm going to make a tic-tac-toe grid. Don't make a cross, because a cross will have an intersection right in the middle, and that means you can't get your stem in. Okay, so I'm making a little grid. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm definitely not going through the center. So if you have some of this tape, it also comes in green. But clear is better because it doesn't show up on your bowl. So today we're not judging our designs, making them, and then if you were in the clubhouse, we'd be taking them. So that's why it's called Make It and Take It. So far, this is what it looks like. I just poured out some water by mistake. But anyway, The center is right here off of the tape. Okay.
Ria, excuse me, Patsy. We have a comment. Could you please lower the camera so the participants can see the flower design and what you're working on? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll be the headless wonder. Here's my chrysanthemum. I had such a poor selection at Trader Joe's. It just was enough to make me cry. I always cut it at an angle. This is my Thriller, by the way, and it's white, but it still has some color. It's got a tiny touch of yellow in it. So then you stand it up next to your arrangement and you see how tall it is, relatively speaking. And I'm just going to put that in the center as the belly button. That's the first thing I'm going to do, just to get my bearings of where things go. By the way, your floral tape should be waterproof because it's sticking into wet oasis. And there are waterproof ones. So without the greens from the grocery store, I ended up attacking my Nandina. And it's pretty nice stuff, except that it's the wrong color story. But what I want to do is cut it into little pieces. And I want to make a collar. So here's a little piece of Nandina, also known as sacred bamboo. You shove it into the oasis at an angle so that it covers the edge, okay? It's called breaking the edge. Floral designers never leave the edge of the container showing. So that's why I cut my oasis to protrude at least a half an inch above the lip. That way I can angle it and make it go up. So I got my Rubbermaid turntable on Amazon. It's about $20 or something cheap. I don't know. I recommend it when you're doing round designs. It wouldn't work so well for the transparency design because those were non-traditional. If you can't see what I'm doing, just holler at me. So just work along with me if you can. It'll be a lot less boring than watching me do this. If you have any bad leaves that have holes, you can either pull that leaf off or you can trim off that edge. These Joyce Chen scissors are excellent for doing fine motor work. Like, see this tiny, tiny stem right here? I can get on in there and cut that thing off because you're not supposed to have any bald stems. I'm really impressed by everybody's transparency designs. They're really impressive.
Patsy, just so people don't go too high on their center flower, I think the rule of thumb is 2 to 2.5 times the height of the container. Is that correct?
Well, there's also something about the width too. But I don't know. I can't do math when I'm stressed. I was so nervous about this. I couldn't sleep last night. I'm a very sleepless girl. I was excited. I was afraid of oversleeping, which of course makes you not sleep and then you want to oversleep. Anyway, if you were looking in the handbook of flower shows, this basic idea would come under traditional American mass because they are symmetrical, they're often round, and I find the adage of thriller, filler, and spiller always useful because it tells you that you need a focal point. Just like in a painting, you need a focal point. You need something graceful that goes in the opposite direction for interest. If everything went straight up, it would be a little boring. Anyway, you know, this time of year, we don't have anything good in our gardens, really. Cassandra is great, but it's only good for short things because it is a short plant, but it makes a good collar on an arrangement. And it turns out Nandina does too. I don't know how long this Nandina will stay alive. Anyway, regarding chrysanthemums, you really want to strip off all the leaves at the bottom because they go bad very quickly. Traditionally, I might keep 2 tiny leaves at the top of a rose or a chrysanthemum. With this arrangement, you don't want to use anything floppy. Flowers that flop are not going to cooperate with your interests. Okay, so now I've got the desire to cover up some oasis. So I'm just going to stick some random Nandina in the middle surrounding my belly button. It's easier to put this in now than it will be when I get my spillers in and my hands and feet for the arrangement. Okay, so when you do put in your hands and feet, you need 4. This is a 5-flower arrangement. So you need 4 similarly sized flowers. So if the flower is leaning over like this guy, you're going to want to have it horizontal. It's going to be at an angle though, so watch this. It's shorter than the belly button. And it's going to go in at an angle like this. It's not going to be on the side because that would make a huge arrangement. It's going to go in at this kind of angle. So it's not very tall. And you want to mark off where the 4 corners are. So the fact that these are floppy actually is an advantage in this arrangement because that means they'll be looking up at the ceiling, which is what I want.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. This has been going out on me, constantly telling me I have no internet connection. And that thing came up, said it's unstable. I'm like, why is it unstable here?
It's not that you're there, it's that you have this. It's saying an unstable connection.
What is it?
So I keep having to turn these around to make sure they're giving me their best face upwards.
Yeah, that thing is here.
Gail, can you mute, please? Okay, so this is like the average height of the hands and feet. So if you have it on a turntable, you can spin it around and check for symmetry.
Well, when I go out there, I take it in there and put that on. I just put that thing on. When she tells me to use this, I get, oh, there it goes. It's going to go out again. Damn.
Gail, is that you?
Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything.
Well, it's not, if you're not on.
It just keeps going out.
Are you on the network?
I don't even know what that is.
Talking. Anna, is that you? No, that's not you. Gail Lenarchik,
Can you mute, please?
I muted her, Patsy. She wasn't picking up.
Sorry. Here. Okay, so what did I pick to go with my thrillers? My spillers are not that spilly, but I love these things. And look what I see. I see some white in with the pink. That helps it coordinate better with the white mums, having that white with your pink. So today, nobody's going to be judged. We're just going to look at each other's work. And I think I want my spillers to be shorter than my main attraction. So here's one right here, see? It's a filler should always be airy. And I like this. It has a small flower, so it doesn't compete with this. If it was the same size as this, it wouldn't really be eligible as a spiller. So I'm closing in on the center with my filler. I hope I have enough flowers here. Always a concern. But Trader Joe's hadn't had a shipment in 6 days. And this is what they had. And then when I went to Safeway, all they had was red flowers for Valentine's Day. Anywho, so now I'm going to put in, now that I have one layer of fillers all the way around the center belly button, I'm going to cut off some more Nandina and do some filling in with that. So it's a backdrop to these other things. So I feel that when you get your flowers and your greens, you need far more greens than you need flowers. For this particular design anyway. I feel like everybody in this club's probably a better designer than I am, so why am I telling you anything? I don't know. I have 2 buckets of Nandina and only 5 chrysanthemums. So I'm just filling it in with Nandina around the main flowers that I put in recently. These are nice and airy. I like the floppiness. But if I had known in advance that I had to use Nandina as my greenery, I would have chosen red because these have a lot of red tipping the leaves. Live and learn. So, you know how with the transparency, it's a creative design and everything needs more than one point of immersion. These have to have 1 point only because it's traditional. That's the difference between creative and traditional. 1 point immersion or not. Actually, the word's emergence, I'm sorry. I knew that sounded wrong. This kind of design needs to be full, but yet airy. So now that I got the top pretty much done, I need to put in some filler lower down. I can check and see if the hands and feet are maybe angled up too high. Maybe they need to come down a little bit. That happens a lot. Okay, so I have a chewed up leaf. He has to go. Ah, here's one with a hole. So I find this very meditative. You know, you can just think about nothing and just enjoy the look of it. It's like painting with flowers. A lot of us who like gardening and flower arranging had moms who did it. Did you guys? I did. My mother had a rose garden and camellia garden in New
Yeah.
Orleans.
You're right.
It's like sharing an interest, you know, it's in your blood. Can't stop, won't stop. Luckily for me, my Nandina grows really fast because I stripped it. Does anybody have any questions right now? If you do, unmute yourself and ask away. This is what it's looking like so far from above. See how it's symmetrical? Thank you. I love these colors together.
That is pretty.
So it's basically the same as this guy. See the 5 main flowers. I put this one in a blue bowl. And you know, I forgot to tell you about the cool colors versus the hot colors. Cool colors recede, hot colors advance. So what would be a hot color? Yellow, orange, reddish orange. What would be cool? Blue, purple, certain shades of pink.
Green.
What?
Some shades of green.
Yeah. Some shades of green are warm. Some shades are cool.
Yep.
So yellow green is definitely warm. But I think all of the purples and all of the blues are pretty much cold. So it's harder to make things exciting if your thriller flower is a really dull color because you want it to advance. So this mum was not the most wonderful selection because it's a duller color. So I made sure to have some filler that was very vivid. And it picks up the center of the mums. You see that? The color is repeated. You want some repetition for harmony, but you also want some variation for interest. So this is a lot of greens I'm plugging in here. So usually we would all be in the same room making these together, and it is a lot of fun to do this together. I love workshops.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry I can't be there today with you. I taught this same lesson to the Salvation Army this summer, but I did it on Zoom because I was afraid of getting sick. So when you're arranging for your house, you need to think about what level will the flowers be seen from? Will they be seen from above? If this were on a coffee table, it would be fine because you're looking down on it from the top. This is that kind of design that you want to see it from above. Seeing it from below really won't do much for you. You know, you'll just see a bunch of greens. So if you put this on a high mantelpiece, you wouldn't really get the full benefit of the flower arrangement. This would be for a coffee table, a side table, a console, something like that. So I'm trying to maintain the airy quality of the Nandina and not go crazy with it. Just enough to cover up my oasis if possible, because you're not allowed to have your mechanics show. Oops. So I'm going to go over a few basics. When you go to the store and you buy flowers, the first thing you do when you get home is plunge them into some room temperature water. Not ice cold, not hot. Hot water will make your flowers open up and maybe die sooner.
But sometimes it's
Sometimes you want it to because maybe you bought a bunch of lilies. So I saw some pretty lilies, but you know why you don't want to use those? It's because some of them are open and some of them are closed. So it's usually not very handy to have flowers at different states of opening when you're doing something traditional and you want the sizes to match. So then I also have a little bit of purple status that I thought might be fun to put in here. So we'll see how that looks. It's another cool color. It's not a wonderful flower, but I like it for little bits of variation. It's very recessive because it's so dark and so purple. Very cold color. Trying to keep up the theme of symmetrical. Okay, so can you see the purple in there a little bit? So you see how this looks a lot better from above? That's the real view. Okay, so that being done, more or less, I'd love to see what everybody else has going on. And people unmute themselves and show me what you've got. Show me your stuff. I forgot to put on lipstick.
Don't worry.
Tara, that's so pretty.
I didn't have the 4, so I used 2 roses from another one and eucalyptus, which I didn't intend to use, but it turned out it's kind of strange. But it's pretty.
It's really pretty. I want to take a picture of it.
No, but it's got those bright flowers behind it.
I like it a lot.
Or there. There's a symmetry.
It's very pretty. I like the colors of it together.
Thanks. I threw the butterfly in because we had luau night last night and had butterflies all over the dining room. So.
Wow. You should be a wedding planner.
Huh?
You should be a wedding planner.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm like a special event planner for my family.
I can tell. Well, for those who haven't been in the club very long, Tara used to be our fashion show girl.
Oh.
And then Gail was. And
Yes. For a long time, Gail was.
And then we have Lisa. And now we have Nancy Hawkins. So we keep passing the torch.
Who knows what? Oh, I want to answer your question. Or it wasn't really a question. You said, why do you feel nervous about doing this in front of all of our great masters that are in our club? Because you're our master artist, kiddo.
Well,
that's why. That's why the colors.
The colors work because of my art background. And so I like to share that info so that people understand the color wheel, because a lot of people say, okay, I got a color wheel, what do I do with it? Well, it's so that you can plot out some color schemes.
It's great. It really is. It's super helpful.
Just remember, don't use yellow, blue, and red together.
Sounds schizophrenic.
You know, a few years, Patsy, a few years ago, I saw in one of my garden club books, somebody passed out a color wheel for us to use. Do you remember that?
It's
in the flower show book.
in the flower show book. I don't remember anybody passing them out.
Okay, that's it. That's it. The one in the flower show book then. Yeah, just as a resource.
Right. And I think there's some info on the color wheel that explains it a little bit, if you can, remember to get around to reading it. But I think
Right.
color theory on that, if it's in very fine print, But
Oh, well, that's always a problem.
it'll help you remember what I told you today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
And those color schemes that I suggested, those are just some ideas based on the color wheel. There, Anne's holding up the color wheel that comes with the book. So, those color schemes I made up based on my knowledge of color, but there's a lot of other ones too. That's not the only game in town. But I just wanted you to have some examples of what works together.
I've been known to pull up the color wheel on my phone when I'm in the grocery store or Trader Joe's or whatever to say, okay, am I going to break a rule if I put that color with that color? Or what color would go best if I want to use a lime green, so that I'm kind of following the color wheel rules, if you will.
Okay, well, lime green could be pink or red, and it could be purple.
Dark purple.
Or light.
Yeah.
Have pink and lavender and yellow green. That'd be pretty. So that's a split dyad I just came up with. But another thing that yellow green would go with would be yellow and yellow orange. And
Okay.
Maria here has some yellow orange roses.
We can't show it.
Pretty.
But she's not ready to show it.
No.
She's still working. Wanda, are you making one?
Looks gorgeous.
I can't see it from here.
She's on mute.
Yeah, she's gonna unmute.
I'm here. I don't know whether you can see what I'm, oh, well, yes, you could have.
Yes.
Whoops,
It's sitting there.
Ooh.
it went away. There.
Lower your camera a little bit. Oh, that's
Nice.
Can you get closer?
Nice. All of these. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how nice y'all are doing them.
And you?
I need to go out to my yard and get some Nandina. I don't have enough greenery.
That's what I had to do as well.
Oh, that's pretty. Who is that?
I need to borrow it.
You can have it.
Here. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow. I like that one.
I need the you guys to see it. Mary Kay, did you just show yours?
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
Okay, I'm gonna pin you so I can see you bigger.
Oh, that looks great.
Very
Oh.
pretty.
So pretty.
You use
Show
these
that again.
too.
I had to run outside and get more Nandia.
Very nice.
You use
Ran
the
out of greens.
turf greens. You have eucalyptus. You have
Oh, I love that.
hypericum is what they call them, and you have white carnations and
Well, they're actually a pale yellow. They didn't have like.
Ooh,
pretty, very pretty.
very pretty.
The berries are so pretty in there, mixed in.
Yeah, I wish I had bought 2 bunches though. I ran out and it
Hmm.
I
could have
got
been a little bit more.
bunches and I barely have enough. So, Wanda, can you show me your arrangement again? I want to see it by pinning you so that your image is bigger. Y'all know how to pin? You go to the top right. Oh, that's beautiful. I need to take some pictures, so stay still.
Ooh, and Angelita's looks
Oh,
pretty.
very nice. Wow, I love the texture you guys are using. This is great.
Mhm.
Wanda, those little doodads that look like thistles or something, what do you call those? What are they? Wanda, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself, Wanda. Oh, cool.
Wanda, unmute. Oh, she can't hear us.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Maybe she
Beautiful.
put it in the chat.
Okay, here, sorry, Patsy.
That's okay. What are those, Lovey?
Patsie Japonica, it's the bloom stock, and it blooms in the dead of winter.
Whoa,
That
cool.
is so neat. They're like,
It's a neat plant. It has tropical leaves.
I love that.
Beautiful.
It's really cool.
Do
Anyway,
you grow it, Wanda?
yeah, it's right outside
I
my
thought-
laundry room door. But it was when they built the neighborhood, it was a foundation planting, and one house still had it, and I looked and found it. I think Carla is growing it also now, just because it's a great plant.
Cool.
And it
I'll
looks tropical in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
great.
hard to find that. Okay, Mary Kay, can you unmute yourself? And I'm gonna pin you so I can take a better picture of you. Let me see your flowers again.
All right.
That's your flower, sweetie.
Oh, raise it up. Aw, very nice. Wow, I love
So
the
pretty.
assortment textures.
I
Wow.
like that white rimmed greenery. That's really pretty.
Uh-huh.
Kind of use a variety of greens because whoops, dripping water. I ran out of greens. So
Yep.
Mary Kay, what is that white rimmed green?
I don't know what it's called. It didn't have a name. It just said greens.
Okay, not in your yard then. Okay.
No, I found that at Wegmans actually.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Okay, I know some more of you have some arrangements to show.
Patsy, Michaela had a question. She wants to know if you can use roses as a thriller when there are multiple blooms on the stem.
It doesn't work because you know why? They flop. Those are called spray roses and they flop open. I've tried using those in other arrangements like parallels. They don't really work. You want something large and kind of flashy, and those are too small and delicate and they go their own way. They have a mind of their own and they kind of go like this instead of going like this. You want something like this. So a large headed rose would be good, like a hybrid tea rose, but rose buds would be too small for something like this. As you can see, they would just be overwhelmed by the greenery and filler. Carla, hi. Long time no see.
Michaela, did we see yours?
No, I haven't really done it. I was just starting to do it. But that was my question because I couldn't find any thrillers at the store.
It was hard.
So
It was very hard.
It looks like Nancy Hawkins has one there. Come on, Nancy, show us that.
And my daughter is here with me today, so Danica has hers to show first.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
making
great.
it first. You were going, honestly, Patsy, you were going a little too fast for me. So this is my rustic.
It's beautiful.
Hold it up a little higher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I would change is that you have one piece of white flowers
Oh, that's beautiful.
that I would angle out and make shorter. In other words, the arm is like this, and I would make it more like that.
That's the one, yeah, coming out.
The long one. That's the only criticism I have. I think it's lovely.
It's great because when it's flowers, it's like, even if it's not with the prompt, it's still pretty.
It's beautiful.
And then my mother has
And
hers.
then I used roses, so there's mine.
Oh, a little higher, please. A little higher. Oh, yeah.
Higher.
Pretty.
Anyway, so thank you for the tutorial. I loved it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. That works, don't you think?
Yeah, and Danica and I are both about one step behind. We'd be like, what did she say? What did she say?
I was afraid I was going too slow.
No, but thank you. It was awesome. Loved it.
My pleasure. I think it's so much fun to do this together, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I can't wait for Arlene's demonstration where she lets us participate. Of course, today you don't get any credit for design. You just get to have a nice flower arrangement in your house. And in my case, I got 2. What do I do? But anyway, I'm just grateful that so many people flew in today. You know, we had 21 people. Gail, did you get to make one? Gail Monarchik?
Oh, me? No, I did.
Let's see.
Who are you talking to? There are 3 Gails in here.
Right now I'm doing Gail Monarchik. I want to photograph hers before her grandkids ask her more questions. Here we go. That's so pretty. You use yellow lilies and tell us more. Carnation.
Oh, yeah.
You have white carnations and baker's fern. What else do you have? That's so pretty. So do you find it easy to understand what to do with this? It's simple, right?
Yeah.
So whenever anybody, you know, says, hey, I'm having a party at my house, can you make some flowers? This would be it. The only thing I would say to you, Gail, is that it's better if the greens angle down and break the edge of the bowl. So
Yeah.
you can make some of them go down so that it's more like a ball.
The greens? Yeah. Okay.
Bottom, make some of them point downwards and make a collar. That's about it. Perfect.
I can do that.
Did anybody else do one? Did Gail?
I have some. Here's mine.
Angelita?
Here's mine.
Okay, let me find you.
Where are you? There.
For you.
Do you see it?
No.
No, because your video's not on.
Oh, okay.
Here she goes. Here she
How's
goes.
that?
There
you are.
Very pretty.
I had to go to another bouquet though, because we just got a variety in a bouquet and I got roses out of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up a little bit higher. And more
Higher?
toward the screen. Very
And
nice.
to the right.
Yeah, move to the right.
There you go.
Pretty. I love the
Very
white edges on your material.
Yes.
Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. Angelita, those roses are huge. They're beautiful.
Those are a substitution for what I ordered for the other arrangement, and they're doubles. And
where did you find
anyway,
them?
they came in handy.
Yes, yes. We have to improvise. Hence the
That's right.
Mine Andina, you know, we do what we can.
That's right.
But your colors are working very well. Do I see some blue spiky things, some fillers that are blue?
These, yeah.
Oh, what are those?
Veronica?
No idea.
Oh, very interesting looking, very pretty.
Okay. Well, I love everything y'all did today. I have to say, everybody did a fantastic job. Does anybody want to show anything they haven't done yet?
Right here.
I'll show mine.
Please.
I use smaller flowers then.
Pretty.
It's,
Oh, very pretty.
You can see your belly button.
wait,
With that,
it's smaller. I used, phlox and boxwood, small flowers actually.
Very pretty. Delicate.
It's lighter, yeah. Thank you.
Can you hold it up one more time so I can get the picture? I had to get my camera.
It's all right. Maybe I should get out of the way.
No, that's
you can
thank
see
you so much.
beautiful.
Or tilt it this way.
Great job.
Yay.
Okay.
Made a really big one.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Example of
what not to do. So we have spray roses, which were a pain. They did not work well. And I did not have one large flower, so I ended up using a hydrangea, which is the very flower that Patsie told us not to use. And again, my excuse is that I could not find what I was looking for to make the arrangement today. So flowers were short at both Safeway and Harris Teeter. So this is what I ended up with. But anyway,
Beautiful.
My effort, but I do get the picture. I think Patsie did a wonderful job today. And
Yes.
I'm going to take that lesson with me.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so nice.
Definitely excited about her program today.
Thanks, girls, for putting up with me. And
thank you.
This is
Fun.
about it for me. But I hope if you didn't finish yet, you'll just keep working on it till you do.
Yes.
And always have a Nandina plant is what I learned. It's handy.
I did put a note in the comment to be sure to take a picture of your design and send it to Patsie and Lisa, okay?
I'd like to put it on District 2's website.
Okay.
And Lisa will put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm really impressed with what everybody did. I know this was like something brand new, but once you learn the man with the belly button, you never forget.
Thank you for that.
It's great.
Exceptional. Wonderful.
It was great.
Thank you so much.
Great job, Pat.
Everybody.
Gail Wood has her hand up. Gail, unmute yourself. Oh, you're just saying goodbye? Or unmute yourself.
Gail Wood.
Yay.
Calling Gail Wood.
Thank you so much. That was great. I my bowl wasn't right. Things didn't work out as like I'd like, but I'm going to work on it again. Now I have guidance, which I've never had before, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Great.
Want to show it to us, Gail?
No.
Yeah, when you get it the way you want it, then send your picture to Patsie.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do after I work on it.
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay, I'm going to keep working.
Yeah.
anybody that I took a picture of your design today, I'd still rather have a picture from you in addition because my picture
It's better.
is
It'll be
computer
better.
screen, and your picture will be much better.
Okay.
So please do. With
Yay.
an uncluttered background like my black velvet, that helps, or a gray wall or a white wall, something like that. Anyway, I'm so
Thank you.
proud of everybody. Thank you. for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Patsie.
Patsy.
and
Great job.
Thank you for
Yep.
participating.
Thanks.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you so much, Patsie.
Thank you, Ann.
Bye.
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 Okay, bye everyone.